A quiet night in the Catalina Foothills turned into a nightmare before sunrise. An elderly woman vanished from her own home without a sound, without a witness, and without a single clear explanation. By morning, the only thing left behind was confusion and a growing fear that something violent had shattered the calm of a peaceful Arizona neighborhood. Before we go any further, make sure you hit the subscribe button and turn on your notification bell so you can get first-hand updates on this story and others as they unfold. The woman at the center of this unfolding mystery has been identified as Nancy Guthrie, a longtime resident of Arizona's upscale Catalina Foothills. Her disappearance has shaken not only her family but also a community that rarely sees serious crime. Neighbors describe the area as quiet and secure, a place where most residents know one another and unusual activity does not go unnoticed. Yet somehow, in the dark hours of a seemingly ordinary night, Nancy disappeared without anyone seeing or hearing anything suspicious. According to investigators, Nancy was last known to be at home the evening before she vanished. There were no signs of forced entry visible from the outside. No alarms were reported. No frantic phone calls were made. When family members were unable to reach her the following morning, concern quickly escalated into panic. A well-fi check revealed something deeply unsettling. Nancy was gone, and the circumstances inside her home suggested she had not left willingly. Authorities from the local sheriff's office immediately launched an investigation, and within hours, federal agents from the FBI joined the case. Given Nancy's age and the unusual elements surrounding her disappearance, officials treated the situation as potentially criminal from the start. What initially appeared to be a missing persons case quickly shifted into something far more alarming. The turning point came when the FBI recovered back-end camera footage from Nancy's home security system. What investigators found in that hidden digital archive changed the entire trajectory of the case. The footage showed a masked individual approaching the residence under cover of darkness. The suspect appeared deliberate and prepared, armed, wearing gloves, and carrying what looked like a backpack. The image was chilling, a shadowy figure moving toward the home with clear intent. This discovery shattered any lingering hope that Nancy might have left on her own. It strongly suggested premeditation and planning. The suspect's clothing, mask, gloves, and concealed features indicated a desire to avoid identification. The firearm visible in the footage escalated the severity of the situation. This was not a random wanderer or confused intruder. It appeared to be someone who had come ready for confrontation. As investigators dug deeper, they began reconstructing a precise digital timeline of events from that night. What they uncovered added another layer of concern. Within a narrow 41-minute window, multiple security cameras inside and outside the home went offline. At nearly the same time, Nancy's pacemaker monitoring application stopped transmitting data. Experts believe these two digital failures are directly connected. The synchronized disruptions suggest technical interference or deliberate tampering. Investigators are examining whether the suspect had knowledge of the home's security system and medical monitoring devices. The fact that Nancy relied on a pacemaker makes the timing of the app failure particularly troubling. If someone disabled or interfered with that system, it would show not only planning but also awareness of a medical vulnerability. Inside the home, forensic teams discovered blood evidence. Officials have confirmed that the blood indicates a violent event occurred within the residence. While authorities have not released specific details about the extent of the injuries, they have made one point clear. This was not a voluntary disappearance. The physical evidence contradicts any suggestion that Nancy left by choice. As news of the case spread, another disturbing development emerged. Nancy's family began receiving ransom notes demanding millions of dollars in Bitcoin. The messages claimed responsibility for her disappearance and provided instructions for payment. The demands were significant and delivered in a tone meant to create urgency and fear. However, investigators quickly encountered complications. Digital analysis of the ransom communications revealed inconsistencies. At least one individual responsible for sending extortion messages was identified and arrested by federal authorities, but this person was later determined to be unrelated to the primary suspect captured on surveillance footage. The arrest exposed a fraudulent attempt to exploit the family's suffering for financial gain. This twist added confusion to an already complex investigation. It also highlighted the darker side of high-profile cases, where opportunists attempt to capitalize on tragedy. Authorities have urged the public not to jump to conclusions based solely on ransom communications, emphasizing that the primary focus remains on the masked individuals seen in the footage. The FBI has since released a more detailed description of the suspect. The individual is believed to have worn a full-face mask, gloves, dark clothing, and carried a backpack. A firearm was visible. The calculated manner in which the suspect approached the residence suggests prior surveillance. Agents believe the person may have studied the home's layout, security patterns, and possibly Nancy's daily routine. That theory gained traction when investigators uncovered a potential connection involving a delivery driver. Authorities are examining whether someone with legitimate access to the property may have used that familiarity to gather information. Delivery drivers, maintenance workers, and service personnel often enter neighborhoods without raising suspicion. If the suspect had previously visited the property under the guise of a routine delivery, it could explain how they knew camera placements and entry points. Meanwhile, a court-authorized search was conducted at a residence in Rio Rico, a community near the Mexican border. Federal agents executed the search warrant as part of their effort to locate evidence tied to the abduction. The proximity to the border has fueled speculation about possible cross-border movement, though officials have not confirmed any international involvement. Search teams continue to analyze digital records, financial transactions, phone data, and geographic movement patterns. The 41-minute window remains central to the investigation. Experts are working to determine whether the suspect used signal jammers, hacking tools, or insider knowledge to disable the home's technology. Each piece of information is being examined in forensic detail. Through all of this, Nancy's family has maintained a public stance of hope. In statements to the media, they have expressed their belief that she remains alive. They describe her as strong, resilient, and deeply loved. Family members have pleaded for anyone with information to come forward, emphasizing that even the smallest detail could prove critical. Community members have organized search efforts and vigils, standing in solidarity with the family. The disappearance has transformed a quiet neighborhood into the center of a national investigation. Residents who once felt secure are now double-checking locks and reviewing their own security systems. This case is no longer just about a missing person. It is about the unsettling reality that even in the most peaceful communities, calculated violence can intrude without warning. The digital clues, the masked figure, the blood evidence, the ransom demands, and the search near the border all paint a picture of a carefully orchestrated crime. As investigators intensify their efforts, the central question remains unanswered. Where is Nancy Guthrie? What began as a quiet night in the Catalina Foothills has evolved into a complex federal investigation involving technology, deception, and potential cross-border implications. The evidence makes one thing painfully clear. Nancy did not simply walk away. Something happened inside that home, and someone knows exactly what it was.